Hello class, this is Mrs. Smith and today's lesson will be on significant figures. Significant figures are the important numbers in a measurement, and they are the certain digits and one final estimated digit. You will practice taking measurements when you come to lab. When you see the graduated cylinder, as in the example at the bottom of the screen, you might say that the measurement there is 53 milliliters. When in actuality, you always want to estimate one final digit at the end of your measurement. So you can see with your eyeball it's about 53. The meniscus is a little bit below the 53, so you will want to call that 52.7 milliliters. So the measure of accuracy, you're estimating that 0.7, and you know that it's not quite 53 milliliters, but it's more than 52 milliliters. So you want to eyeball one final digit on all of your measuring. The rules with sig figs are which digits to count. So make sure that you're writing this down in your notes, that you always want to count every non-zero number. If you have a measurement that says 52.7 milliliters, there are 3 sig figs in that measurement. The measurement 916.28 grams, that has 5 sig figs in that measurement. So whenever you don't have any zeros in your measurement, you just count all of the digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that last example, and that tells you how many sig figs you have. The trick of determining the number of sig figs is to know when to count the zeros. You always want to count the zeros when they're in between non-zero numbers. If you have a measurement that's 405 milliliters, there are 3 sig figs there because the 0 is in between the 4 and the 5. It's part of the accuracy of the measuring instrument. You do not count zeros when they are holding the place of the decimal point. In that first example there, 0.00045 grams, those are only placeholder zeros, so they do not count. They are not part of the accuracy of the measuring instrument. They are simply spacing the decimal point. In that 0.00045 grams, there are only 2 sig figs in that measurement. The same way in 38,000 kilometers, again, those zeros are spacing the decimal point. They are not a measure of accuracy, so you only want to count the 3 and the 8. We don't count the placeholder zeros because they only show the spacing of the decimal point. They are not the estimated digit. They are not significant in the measurement itself. The last bullet on this page is extremely important to write. If there are final zeros after the decimal place, such as in 4.00 meters, then those zeros do count because they are the estimated digit. That final 0 there is the estimated digit, so you want to count them. The Atlantic and Pacific rule are easy ways for you to know when you can discount the zeros and not count them. In the first example at the bottom here, 400,000 meters, in that measurement the decimal point is absent. Absent and Atlantic start with the same letter, so over on the right hand side, any zeros to the right of the non-zero numbers we don't have to count. In that first example underneath the map, 400,000 meters, there is 1 significant figure in that measurement. In the second example, 12.50 grams, the decimal point is present. Present and Pacific both start with the same letter, so any zeros that are to the left, the Pacific Ocean side of the number, to the left of the non-zero numbers, you do not have to count. Now in this measurement there are no zeros to the left of the first non-zero digit, so we must count every number in that digit. 1, 2, 5, 0, those all count, so there are 4 sig figs in the second example. On the last example, there are zeros to the left of the first non-zero digit and the decimal point is present. So looking at that number, 0.073 liters, those first 2 zeros are not significant. In that measurement, you only have 2 sig figs. We'll practice this some more in class, so if you're confused, just write down the rule for now and perhaps some other numbers that you want to ask me about in class. These links are college websites. They will be up on our Schoology page in case you need to look for more help.